Hey folks, it's Tom, your Frugal Prepper. So I'm going to be working on this PlayStation 3. I traded a laptop that I fixed for this. We worked out a deal with some hard drives, different things, and got a trade made. It was a very eager 14-year-old kid who had a whole bedroom full of like broken apart laptops and electronic devices and phones and stuff, and we managed to go through the laptops from some RAM, some hard drives. I used this. In fact, he had a 500 gig drive even, so I ended up giving him $60 and getting the PlayStation 3 and an Xbox game and all the hard drives and RAM. So actually I think it worked out to be a good trade for both of us. But this has something loose in it in here. There it is. I did power it up. I got there. He didn't have the controllers with it, which I can get some cheap aftermarket controllers. It's pretty dirty. There's something rattling in it, but I did put power on it and hooked it up to an HDMI, and it does boot up and work. So I did put a DVD in there, and it didn't seem to recognize it. It was spinning and everything inside, so it tells me maybe it's having a problem reading DVDs. It's been a while since I've tore one of these apart. In fact, I'm not sure if I've done the slim. But anyway, I'm going to take you along and show you how to get one of these apart and work on it. You're going to need like a regular Phillips screwdriver. You're going to need a T9 security Torx bit. What I use, let me show you, this whole kit. I will put a link to this down below. This one is Neva Home. This has been a great little kit. I use it when I take apart MacBooks, laptops, phones. It's got all the different weird little tiny bits that you need for all these different electronic parts. Comes with this little screwdriver with it. This actually has extendable reach like so. So just a real good little kit. Gonna need some compressed air. I got some window cleaner, glass cleaner stuff just to clean off the case and all that. You're gonna need some isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%. You want the highest percentage you can get because there's less water in it. And in here, I got some Q-tips, my little case here, that will allow me to clean off the read-write head on the CD drive or DVD drive or whatever they call it. But anyway, let's get started. I'll show you how this works. It's not a terribly complicated process, but this might help somebody else if they have one that's not reading. Okay, so here is the back of this guy. There's some screws here. Normally these will all have covers over them like this one does, but somebody's had this apart and lost the covers. You can get them for like 83 cents from China, right? Like, it'll take them a month to get here, but just you can order these. I already ordered a set for this just so I can put it back nice and complete. So you got to take these covers off. I just use my fingernail and they just pop out like so. Then we're just going to take all these Phillips screws out right here. All these bigger Phillips.
Now under this warranty sticker, you gotta peel that off. And then there's another little plastic cover there. Take that off, and there's another screw under here.
There is no screw under that one right there. That is a fake, that's just a rubber foot. That's all that is. So now there's this little cover right here, and that just catch the edge of it with your fingernail, and that pops up, and it will reveal a little tiny Phillips screw under there. Your big Phillips screwdriver won't bite into that and turn it, so you're going to need a tiny Phillips. And this is the screw that holds the hard drive in. Now we can slide this little front cover right here, slides off to the side a little, and then lifts up out of the way. And under here is your hard drive. It's just a SATA hard drive, is all that is, a little laptop SATA drive. It's got 160 gig in it. So we have to take these 4 screws out. If I remember, the older PlayStations only had 3. These are a special Torx bit. It's the T8 security bit. Let me find it right here, or T9 security bit, I do believe. Let's see, this is the T9. This, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little tiny hole in it right there. And so it gets just a little tiny raised spot in the middle of the screw. But we'll just take all 4 of these screws right here out. It's not quite ready. I don't know. Over here. And then there's one down here. And now all those are out. Now we're ready to flip it over. And it should just lift up from the back like so. And this whole cover comes off. So now, down here. There's what I'm making our rattling sound. I got 25 free cents. It's a 66. I think 65 might have been the last year that these were silver for quarters. I have to look it up. And so we got some more tiny screws over here on this power supply. So I'm going to show you what we're doing here. So right in here, you can see there's a screw on both sides. There's a screw right here, and then there's a screw right here. So what we have to do first is unplug this little white wire connector that just pulls out, and then you have this one right here as well. This one has a little squeezy tab in the front right here. You're just gonna push on that squeezy tab and then lift that up. And now you're gonna see that there's a screw right here, and then there's also a screw in the same place here on the other side. And then there's one on this side. That out. Okay, now this power supply will lift out of here, and it's going to be a little tight because it's got some spots to plug into the board, but it'll pop right out. See your little connection right there slides down onto these 2 prongs right there. So we just have this one real super tiny Phillips. So I am going to step this down to a J1000, or a J triple lot, J000 bit, and that'll take that right out of there. That gets that one out, and then we got these 2 right back here. And then there's one right here. See if that gets our cover off. Almost. There. Okay. Let's see, yeah. So that little panel comes up out. And now let's see what we got. Okay, so I figured it out. So on the side, right here, there is this little tab right here, this metal tab. You just have to pry up on that slightly with your fingernail, and then that lets the case come loose, and then it lifts right off. So there's one of those on each side here. You just have to, it's this little tab right here, and it's got that little indentation right there that catches. Let me show you if I can. So it's this little tab right here, and on the other side is right here, and you're just gonna get under your fingernail and pry it out ever so slightly, like so, and that will release that. Okay, so right here it looks like there's a clip and a clip right here. I don't see screws. I think the old ones used to have 2 screws. So let's take that loose, and then we're just going to push over on this clip over here. Oh, no, I got to mess that one up. Take that one loose. You just have to find something to kind of pull up and take that loose. There's that one. So now I'll hold that up here while I just push on this one. There, now that's loose. And we gotta figure out what's holding it in the front. Oh, there are still 2 little tiny screws up here. Let me show you. Okay, so I don't know if we can see them or not on camera, because they are pretty tiny, but there's one right down here. So just right straight down here. It's a little tiny Phillips screw. You're gonna need definitely that little J00 bit. That one's loose, and then there's one over here as well. Okay, that one came all out. It's just this little tiny screw there. And so, let's see. This is loose. This one's not quite loose all the way. I need to turn it some more. Okay, so that's out. So that'll kind of help you see here where that screw is exactly, I'm hoping. Right there. It's this laser unit right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Q-tip. We're going to get us a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Soak that up real good. Rubbing alcohol, and then we're just going to go over this ever so slightly. It's kind of mounted on little springs and stuff, so don't be rough with it. Yeah, quite a bit of dirt came off of there. That's really all you need to do. I'll just take the dry side here real quick and kind of dry it off a little. We're good. I'm just going to blow this out. I see that there is a piece of green foam stuff in here. How about that? Interesting. Just a little bit. You don't want anything to go flying out of there. And then we just basically got to put it back together. Now I'll just go ahead and tighten these down. Take this other nice long one here, tighten it down. Now that's in there. I'm just gonna make sure that's seated. It is. Now we go ahead and put our cover back on. Just gonna make sure this cover is nice and straight here, because I kind of pulled up on a little bit too hard and tweaked it there, figuring out how to get it off. Get those lined up, clicked in, and now we just gotta put our other screws in the back corners. See where I'm going at there? Where that screw goes? And this one right here. Okay, so now that I pretty much have that unit all back together, I'm just gonna blow the rest of this out with the air. Get all the stuffed bunnies out of the fan. There's probably, yeah, here's your main heat sink back here. Just blow that out real good. That's pretty much all we need to do there. This is a great time to clean this panel right here, so I'm going to get a little cleaner, clean that off. Wipe everything off in here. Make sure it's kind of nice and clean and tidy looking. Okay, so now I'm going to also just clean off the top of this case. It's got some dirt and dust here where the fan is. We'll just blow that off a little. And then we'll grab the rest with some cleaner. Alright, so that's good. And I'm just going to blow out this power supply. There's no dust in it. I'm just going to give it a light wiping off. And so your power supply, again, you just line up where these two prongs go with where these two prongs are. And it plugs down in there. That's simple. So there's to it. We got the two screws that go back in there. Our cable's back in. This one plugs into this little white connector. It's tabbed, so you can't plug it in backwards or anything. Same with this one right there. Stick that guy back in there. There we go. Alright, now we're ready. And so now, let's go ahead and put this back together. Now I'll just blow all the crud off the hard drive here. I'm just going to clean the crud out of the hard drive bay. I'm just going to slide that up again. Fold that piece down. Right there. Alright, so now I'm just going to I see there's some fuzzies in the vent on the hard drive cover. So you go ahead and clean that off a little too. It's kind of got some grimies on it. So now we can just, our cover so it goes back in like that. And it just slides over. And then we put our screw for that guy right here. This is the blue top, real little Phillips, but it's not the J triple I. It's just the small Phillips. This is a S1 Phillips. It's a long one. I'll turn it a bunch. There we go. That's in. Now I'll go ahead and put my cover here, back. I'm not going to worry about trying to put the warranty sticker back on. It already says void. It's obviously, obviously has been taken apart. Let's put this other cover back the other one I have somewhere. Put it down here. There we go. Okay, so the only thing left is these 4 screws that go across the front that are the special star bit. And I'm just pretty much gonna, spray it down a little here and just clean the surface of it off and make it look a little better. It's gonna rattle around some 14-year-old kid's bedroom. It's got its little signs of wear, but I think it will play some games. It's out a little bit while I got the air out. Let's clean those out. But so I had the power cord, I had an HDMI cable. So I've ordered my controllers from Amazon, and once that comes in, I think this will make a good little present for my son for Christmas. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tom, your Frugal Prepper. Hopefully that maybe helps somebody else that's got an old PlayStation 3 and wants to get it working again. I'll talk to you later. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving.